All right, guys, you've made it. You've reached the final video with me. There's more videos to come. You're still going to learn JavaScript, but this is the last CSS video in Bitstream Academy. But I want to start off with kind of showing you what I've done to my version of the Baby Yoda site. I've just used a few things that you guys already know how to do. This is all stuff that you can do, but just try to clean it up and make it look a little nice. So I used text align center here to make the text center, and then actually centered my image as well. And I used this little GIF. I thought that was fun. I took this quote here and I gave it a different font family, and I made it a slightly different size. I put some padding left here and a border left, so it makes it look like a little, it sets it apart as a quote. And you may have noticed down here at the bottom of the screen, my favorite thing is I put this little Baby Yoda song YouTube video. I can put a YouTube video right in my site. I'm going to show you how to do that because I think it's fun and I think you might want to do that. So we'll go ahead and let's load up YouTube. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right, there we go. This is the account that my kids use to watch YouTube, so you can kind of see what they're into here. But let's go ahead and pick something. Let's just go ahead and pick Good Mythical Morning. That's fun. And we don't need to watch it here, so I'll just go ahead and pause it. What I'm going to go do is scroll down here, and I'm going to click on the share button. When I click on that share button, I can...
What happens when you leave a hard-boiled egg in laundry detergent for a month?
Let's talk about that.
Let's not talk about that right now. Sorry, guys. So when I click on that share button here, I get the URL. I don't need that. That's not what I want. What I want is to click over here on this embed link, and it's going to give me the code. I don't have to work it out. I don't have to figure out what it is. It's all right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and click copy down here, and I'll go over to my HTML file, and let's find the other Baby Yoda video, or the Baby Yoda video. We'll put it right below that. And we just paste it in, and then we go over to our site, and it's just there. It's really that simple. It's very easy to do. You can put it in there however you want. Now I've got some extra styles to put some margin here and to center it and things like that. But the rest of it's just YouTube doing stuff for you. It's really nice. So, all right, but the reason we are here today is to talk about responsive design. Now we mentioned that a little bit in the last video. We didn't really get into it too much, but what does responsive design mean, and what are we gonna do here? So you looked at your site on a cell phone, or you narrowed your screen width a whole bunch and it looks like garbage. What are we gonna do? Because this is obviously not right. Let's take a look at what it might look like here for you. So we'll take our Baby Yoda site, and I'm going to hit a magic button here that we'll show you here towards the end, but I just want to see what it might look like on a phone. Not the best. This is like super squished, and like this is way small. Like some of this text is kind of hard to read, and like, nope, this looks like garbage. Holy crap. Okay, we can't leave it like this, right? So we'll go ahead and turn that mode off. I don't want to look at it anymore. We're gonna figure out how to fix that here. We're gonna use something called media queries. It's a way of specifying CSS at certain screen widths. And actually, you don't have to use it for just screen widths. Media queries cover a lot of territory. This is definitely the most common thing, is to change it based on the screen width. So what this code is saying is, hey, if the browser device that's only a screen is smaller than 750 pixels, then change the background color blue. So you see that? We've got @media, which is saying, hey, CSS, we're going to write a media query. Only screens, they only care about screens, and only do this up to 750 pixels, or only do this up to a max width of 750 pixels. We're going to change this, all right? So let's see if this works. So let's go ahead and copy it. And we'll go over to our code, and we'll go to our CSS file all the way to the bottom, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in there, all right? So let's go over to Baby Yoda and see what happened. Nothing happened, which is good, right? Because we told CSS past 750 pixels, don't do this. And this is way more than 750. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull this tab off. I'll let it resize a little bit, and let's just narrow it down until we get down below 750 pixels. Oh, look at that. It turned blue, just like we told it to. And in fact, if I slowly go out, you can see right where we get past, if it can keep up with me here. Yeah, there we go. We're past 750 pixels now. And it changed back to our nice looking green. So let's go ahead and first of all, let's get rid of that rule because that's a garbage rule. We don't want it to turn blue. So let's kind of keep rolling here. The other thing that you noticed probably is when we looked at it in that sort of magic phone view, things were really like not the right size. Like the pictures are really small. The text was even smaller. That's because we need to add a mobile meta tag. And what is that? We'll kind of get to that here in a second, but what I want you to do really is just copy and paste this. This is one of those ones that me as a professional web developer who's been doing this for years, I have to look up every single time because I can never freaking remember what it is. So we're over here. It looks good. So is this going to go here? Nope, it's not going to go in our CSS file. We actually have to put it in our HTML file. So I want to find the head, and our slide said to put it up to the top. And I don't like to put it to the very top. I like to leave this stuff that's pretty standard here. But I'm going to go ahead and put it like right here. All right, so I'm going to put it right there. And we'll tab it in, put it in line with everything else, and let's see what it did. It looks the same, right? Well, let's check it out on our magic phone view here. Right. Still looks, well, terrible, doesn't it? Yep, because we need to fix that. We need to use our media queries and give everything enough space. But first, let's kind of talk about what does this magical string of characters even mean? Well, a lot of mobile devices, they kind of fake. They kind of pretend they have more pixels than they actually do. It forces the site. So what our mobile meta tag does is kind of force the site to display at the same width of the actual device, like the physical device, and not how many pixels that the device is telling you it has. That kind of makes sense a little bit. So basically, we're making it look not tiny and crappy. That's really what we're doing. All right, so we've got these styles here, ready to go, already there for you. So we're just going to go ahead and do this together, okay? And we'll see exactly what's going to happen. So we're just going to go ahead and copy all of this code. I'm going to copy it, and then we'll flip over here, and we will paste it right to the bottom. In fact, I already did, so we'll just paste it over top. And let's see what this looks like. Let's see what happened to our site. Oh, wait, no, this isn't right. What's going on? Let's go look at our code. Let's figure it out. This is what we call debugging. I'm gonna look at this, and we added a property here called flex wrap, and we told it to wrap. So we have our flex container here, right? We talked about that. And so the main content and the sidebar are flexed. But what we said is, we said flex wrap, go ahead and wrap. So if the elements are kind of too wide to sit right next to each other, we want to go ahead and just wrap them. Well, we don't really want to do that right here, do we? Well, so let's check it out. What can I do to fix that? You know what? I do want that to happen, but I want it to happen only on our mobile devices. So I'm going to get rid of this little curly bracket. I'm going to put it down here. We'll hit the little magic format button, and it'll be all happy. So now what I'm saying is I only want you to wrap up to 750 pixels, all right? I don't want you to wrap after that, because on mobile we want to stack everything on top of each other because we don't have a lot of width to work with, right? So we go back over here. All right, our site looks normal again. Now what happens if I put it into phone mode here? All right, it's starting to look better. See how it's all stacked on top of each other? Now, it's not perfect yet by any means, right? We gotta fix some things. Well, there's one thing here that our little Baby Yoda video, it's cute, but it's kind of cranking things open a little bit too much. So let's, for now, without getting into a whole bunch of stuff, let's just go ahead and get rid of that. So we'll find it, and I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that whole thing. I'll just delete it for now. Let's go back over, see if that made a difference. Hey, that did make quite a bit of difference. This is starting to look like a real mobile site. Now, there's some things that we need to fix. It looked fine on the widescreen, but now that we're looking at it sort of in phone mode here, it's, this is right on the edge of the screen. That doesn't look good, and this is pushed over. So let's take a look and figure out how we can fix that. Well, we need some padding here, right? We need a little extra padding between the edge of the screen and the text, so it's easier to read. It doesn't look accidental. So we'll flip over here our code, go to our styles, and we're going to go, we want this to only apply at this width, right? Because we don't want extra padding on desktop. We already did that. It looks fine. So I want to say .content, and I'm going to say padding, and I'm going to say I want 0 pixels of padding on the top and bottom, and I want, let's say, 30 pixels on the left and right. Right, remember that's our shorthand there. We'll go back over here and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Now we got a little space. Now, sidebar is a problem, right? Why is the sidebar like kind of jacked over to the side here? Well, remember, I went ahead and I said padding left 100 pixels. So it's adding 100 pixels of padding on the left. But we don't really want to do that here, do we? So I'm going to go down here. And let's go down here and we'll just say .sidebar. Actually, you know what? Let's get rid of that. We're going to do just what we did here. We're going to say comma. So we're going to apply this rule to both the content class and the sidebar class. And let's see if that fixes it. It sure does. It takes care of it. Now we have like a legit, we're starting to have like a legit looking mobile site. And again, you can spend a whole bunch of time tweaking and fine tuning and making this look exactly how you want to. But you're well on your way. You've got all the tools now. Let's go back over here. And we're going to get back to this how to test on a mobile device thing. How do we flip this into phone mode? Because you may have been wondering about that. All right, so let's talk about that for a second. So what I want to do is go ahead and I'm going to right click. I'm going to use my inspect. DevTools are your best friends. Anytime you're coding, you really should have DevTools open. It's what you need to do. Now we have all this stuff going on here, right? And we haven't used very much. We've looked at elements here. We've kind of looked at the styles in the sidebar here. But there's this little button right here. And if you hover over it, it says Toggle Device Toolbar. So if I click on that, it flips me to this. And now it knows that the last device I had chosen was the Pixel 2 XL. But I'm going to open this up, and I have like tons of options. Now you may not see all of these options. I enabled extra ones. But let's say I want to look at it on an old school iPhone 4. Ooh, not so good, because that's really, really narrow, and we didn't quite kind of count for that, right? I want to look at it on, let's go all the way up to the iPhone X. That's better, right? So we'd still have maybe some things to kind of work on here. It's not quite centered, but we're kind of getting there. The other thing that you can do, besides kind of picking devices that it already has in here, like, hey, I used to have a Galaxy S5, and you can see my cursor even changes to like a little dot there, and that's kind of trying to imitate what your finger would do as a tap, right? So I can drag and I can click and drag it around just like I would on my phone. So what I was about to say is the other thing I can do, besides picking a device here, is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to choose this one right here. It says responsive. And what that's going to do is it's going to enable this little toolbar up here. So I can go ahead and say mobile 320 pixels. I'm going to shop it down to 320 pixels, or I'm going to say 375. Now this is, in my job, this is about as low as we usually worry about, is 375. Past that, the phones are usually old enough that we don't really care too much. Tablet 768, that's iPad width. And we can see, ooh, you know, we're doing this side-by-side thing here on iPad. Maybe it doesn't look good. We'd have to fix that a little bit. But we can click on these little breakpoints here and change sizes to whatever we want. We can also hover over the side here, and I can drag dynamically and just kind of change size. So this is a great tool for testing things out and seeing what it looks like at different sizes. Now you may have noticed that things got really small here. Sometimes it likes to jack the zoom level down a little bit so it can fit things in better. But as developers, we kind of want to keep it there. So instead of auto adjust zoom, we'll turn that off, and I'm going to say just 100%. All right, so now when I go all the way out here or all the way down here, it's not changing that zoom level. Everything's staying exactly the way it should be. All right, so that's what I want you to play with. I want you, for the end of this video, is to spend some time looking at your site on a bunch of different screen widths. I'll show you which ones that I always use. I look at them at all different devices and things like that. And sometimes when you look at on the actual device, it is slightly different. This is what we call an emulator. It's trying to mimic what a phone would do. It's not exactly the same thing. But I always start right here, 375 pixels. I look at it and I decide what changes I need to make here. And the next one I go up to is 768. That's our tablet in portrait mode, right? And I make sure that things look pretty decent there. Then from there, I usually just kind of go all the way up. So I'll just hit inspect again, and I'll just click this button again to turn off. If my DevTools will cooperate with me. It's all frozen. All right, buddy. The other thing, oh, there it goes. Wow, that was slow. The other thing you can do is actually just close your DevTools and it'll turn it off. So those 3 breakpoints, those are my sort of like gut check ones. Those are like, all right, these are the main kind of mile markers, and I need to make sure those look good. I need to look like what it looks like in between, because there might be some weird, like, oh, somebody has a laptop that's like a little bit weird size. It's going to look funny. But those are my kind of first pass ones. So try that out, play around with it, look at those breakpoints, and see what you can come up with. All right. I will not see you in another video. Shelby will, to talk about JavaScript, but I'll see you at the end of the day for our presentations, and obviously we've got we're available for any questions you guys have. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.